guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review for The Bronzed Beasts by Roshani Chokshi. I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to finally review this, and the time has come. This is the third and final book in the Gilded Wolves series. If you have not read the rest of the series, I will leave my spoiler-free reviews linked on the screen for you to check those out. This will not have spoilers for this book, but it might for the previous two, so. This takes place directly after the events of the Silvered Serpents, and Severin has been split up from the rest of them. And the last book ended on a bit of a cliffhanger for how our cast of characters going to like reconnect and get back together and do the thing, and time is running out, so very, very high stakes. So first off, I'm gonna talk about the world building. I wouldn't say there's much new world building in here. Our world building gets fairly established within the first book. This just continues a lot of that with like the continued use of lore and things and magical artifacts and all of that. In this one, they are trying to find the place where the lyre can be played where it won't destroy everything. But in general, the same themes and aesthetics and things are present throughout the whole series. Next, we talk about our characters. I love the characters in this series, and I continue to love them here. It became so apparent to me rereading The Silvered Serpents, which I reread right before reading this, and then reading this book, that this cast of characters is one of my favorite multiple POV cast of characters that I've read about. They are such a perfect found family in that they are found family, they are all friends, and they are all like the perfect pieces of a puzzle to make this crew that they all have equal importance in. I would say this is very different than Six of Crows, and I'm just talking about Six of Crows because people compare that series to that series all the time. I would say this does the crew of specialists almost better, because I would say there's parts of Six of Crows where it's like, what do you even do here? And in this, like, they all have a particular part to play, and if one of them is missing, it doesn't quite fit. But the themes throughout here as well, I would say, like, really solidifying in this last book, are also all of them coming into their own and learning to be individuals as well, and that making the friend group and the crew like even stronger, and like, oh, I love that. Also, the romantic relationships in this book and the series, I just really like. There is one really angsty one, and then there's another one that's like sort of angsty too, but I would say it's almost like a little bit of a love triangle situation going on, and the way all of them are kind of resolved or whatever is good. I like it. Character-wise, I will say the one flaw of the series overall is the villains are fairly mediocre, in my opinion. The big bad of this series is pretty bland, pretty like kind of one note, but I also don't think that the villains are the main point of the series. I think that the bigger challenge of this series is their miscommunication and like sometimes inability to articulate what they all necessarily mean, but not in an annoying way, and then the puzzles of the world and like them trying to figure out, again, like certain puzzles and things. That is the biggest thing, and I think this book and the whole series does this really well. Lastly, we talk about the plot. I think pacing-wise, this series does pacing really well. The cliffhangers that there are in this series don't get dragged out to a ridiculous degree, and everything is just kept going at like a pretty snappy pace where there's always like a new thing going on, while also taking the time to flesh out the characters. This book and this series being a series of puzzles, I just really like. It's something that I enjoy about books like this. There is an epilogue to this that is a little bit more about like the relationships and stuff that I didn't necessarily love plot-wise. I don't hate it, and it didn't ruin the series for me, but I don't love it. I will talk about that more in my spoilery discussion for this. So overall, loved this book and this series. I thought it was a really solid conclusion. I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars, and overall the series as a whole is like a 4 to 4.5 star series for me. I really enjoy it. I think it should get way more hype than it gets. So comment below and let me know what you thought of The Bronzed Beasts, and my spoilery discussion will be linked on the screen. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.